Alrighty then, so I have the correct date because it was announced last week by the university. And it is not April 18th, and it's not April 20th, and it's not even April 14th, like I said in 2 podcasts ago, where I completely messed up. And I gave you guys the wrong information, and I gave you guys misleading information, and I apologize to you because here at B-Man is Mad, I do not do that. We try not to do that. We try to give you guys the right information. Now, we're not perfect. I'm not perfect, and B-Man is not perfect, so we try our best here. Okay, so the correct date of the Notre Dame Blue and Gold game, aka spring game, is the same day as the Kentucky Derby, May 1st. Yes, that's right, May 1st, the first Saturday of May. And you know what? That is pretty cool. That is pretty interesting. There'll be 2 things to watch that day. Of course, the Notre Dame spring game is see what the recruits are going to be like. See these quarterbacks, especially the backup quarterback or transfer from Wisconsin coming into Notre Dame and transferring over to Notre Dame. It'll be interesting to see how he is. Now, you can't tell everything in the spring game. The spring game is like kind of like a boring preseason game in the NFL or a boring preseason baseball game or spring training baseball game. You can't really give yourself an indication how the season's going to go in a spring game. It's not like Alabama where you know they're automatically going to be good because they have a franchise down there basically where they just every year build their own players with machines. That's what it seems like. Notre Dame is not Alabama. So, but the great thing about May 1st this year is that I'll be able to watch the Notre Dame spring game, and also I'll be able to watch the Kentucky Derby. Now, the Notre Dame spring game is going to be over on the Peacock app, the new NBC app. You know, everything's been canceled. Their NBC Sports channel, I think, is going legit, and they're all going to be over on the Peacock app. So it's going to be kind of interesting with you know the future of sports. I mean, is this an indication that maybe Notre Dame games might be on an app one day? But the game itself on the Peacock app on May 1st will be on at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. And of course, the Kentucky Derby is on at 5 p.m. Eastern. So there'll be a lot to do that day. Now, am I excited about the Blue and Gold game? Yeah, I mean, it's good to see football, but you know what? It's like, I don't know how to say this. I like to use analogies, and sometimes my analogies don't make sense. You know, watching a spring training game, watching, you know, a college football game, you know, the Blue and Gold game, or a spring game, or a spring practice, and I've seen one before when I was a younger kid. I was able to go into a practice and see them play against each other. You know, the offense plays against the defense. The backup plays against the first string quarterback, and I've seen all that. But when you watch it on TV, it's like it's like going to an Olive Garden, or it's like going to Taco Bell and not having real Mexican food or having real Italian food. It's there. It is supposed to be Italian food, but it's not real Italian food. Taco Bell is, you know, and you know me, B-Man, he loves Taco Bell, but it's not the real thing though. It's like the season is the real dish, is the real main course, is the real food. I mean, you get the real ground beef, you get the real enchilada, you get the true ravioli, you know, the true pasta sauce. I mean, just watching a spring game is like ragu sauce. It's there, you know, it'll get you by, you know, it's exciting, but it's not as good as you know, the true stuff, the good stuff, the stuff they don't even tell you what the ingredients is because it's a secret. That's what watching a spring game is. And then, you know, and I love football and I love Notre Dame, but it's just not the same from a real game. And you can't really tell, unless you're Alabama, how good of a season you're going to be because of a spring game. Now, you get to see these players that are going to be potential breakouts, you know, these high recruited players that they bring in that you hear about all year and read about in the articles and newspapers and, you know, and blogs and apps and all that good stuff. You get to see them play for an hour and a half or 2 hours and see if they can make a big difference. But it's against your own team. You know, they're not really hitting hard. They're not really playing for real. So that's really hard to tell. But it is great to see football, but it's just not the same thing. And it kind of teases you a little bit because this is only going to be in May. Notre Dame's opening game in Florida State isn't until September down there in Tallahassee. So yeah, it's a little bit of a tease. It's a little bit of the fake food, you know. It's there to fill you up, but it's not actually there to make you feel good or give you, you know, an excellent course of meal to eat. Like it's there to keep you get by. So we'll have to see how things go. Now, the thing that sucks about it is, and listen, I know my analogies are terrible, but that's how I do down here. I just say whatever I think that comes out of my mouth. So, the thing that sucks about it is I looked into it. I thought maybe getting tickets for it because I mentioned that I'd like to go there and watch the game. Take my camera, show you guys around Notre Dame, show you all the different historical values in Notre Dame, even the stadium, interview people, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And nope, it's not so much. Not able to get tickets, folks. It's only for staff members, Notre Dame members, and family members, and coaching staff members, family members, I should say, can get it. Just like the 2020 season. Hopefully this is the last time they do that. Hopefully they'll be able to let some fans in this year during the regular season. They haven't even announced that yet, what they're going to do. But, it kind of dampens the mood a little bit. But I still will watch the game on May 1st on Saturday. But it would have been great to go to South Bend and show you guys some different things. But we'll have to see. This is like the beginning of the 2021 season. You read all the scouting reports. You read all the the recruiting reports all winter. You build things up. Then you see the spring game and you go on from there. And then about July or August, when they have the mini camps, they call them, or the summer camps, they have these channels go there. The ACC network goes to all these different schools. Of course, they didn't do it last year because of COVID. But up until 2020, you had the Big Ten Network do like a week program where they go on a bus, which is pretty cool. Even though it's the Big Ten, you know how I feel about the Big Ten in Michigan and the Ohio State. They actually take a crew and go to every school for like 3 weeks or something like that. Each day of the week, they go to a different school. I think it's about a 2-week trip. And then at the end of the 2-week trip there, they tell you who they think is going to win the Big Ten program. Now, I would like to see that again this summer, hopefully with COVID, vaccines, COVID, getting a little better, still creeping up there around and around. It's still a big thing, but it's starting to get a little bit better. Hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll be able to have those camps. And maybe B-Man as man, will actually be able to go to Notre Dame and do some sort of video for you guys where I walk around Notre Dame and I give you the historical values of the buildings. Because believe me, folks, I've been to Notre Dame so many times in my life, and I like to show it off to you. So, yeah, a lot of exciting times, a lot of things going on in college basketball, and then baseball starts up this Thursday, actually. The White Sox game against the Angels is going to be on ESPN. That'll be the national televised game. So that's going to be actually pretty cool. I'm excited about that against the Angels. And of course, I will have my first ever MLB Weekly presented by B-Man as Man. So make sure you tune into that sometime on Sunday afternoon or early evening, after pretty much every team is played except for the White Sox and Angels, of course, because that game will be starting at 6:30 here where I live in the Chicagoland area. So stay tuned for that. Of course, if there's any breaking news regarding Notre Dame, I will let you guys know that as soon as possible. But until then, this is Honest About the Irish, brought to you by yours truly, B-Man as Man. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you dislike if you don't agree with me, and just leave a comment and share. I'd really appreciate it, folks. Have a good night, stay safe, and of course, as always, go Irish.